Hi, fifth grade. So we are back after a nice 5-day break. We're going to be jumping into a new module, Module 12. So I hope you are refreshed and we're able to do some, be relaxed and get a lot of, just getting ready for this last push for the end of the school year. We're down to 3.5 weeks left of fifth grade, and then you'll be able to move on to sixth grade. So I want you to be focused and really working hard and doing everything you can to make sure that that all your work is done and to the best of your ability. So just looking forward to that, 3.5 weeks, and then you can have your summer vacation. So let's finish strong. So we're on Module 12, Lesson 1. We're going to be still using fractions, but we're going to be transitioning a little bit. We're going to be converting customary measurements. So we're going to be talking about measurements like feet and inches and things like that. And we're going to need to convert one to the other. So we're going to be exploring that some more. So please make sure Module 12, Lesson 1's in front of you. And we're going to get to the Spark Your Learning. So Mount Rainier in the state of Washington is one of the snowiest places on Earth. During one winter snowstorm, a meteorologist predicted 15.5 feet of snow at Mount Rainier. Another meteorologist predicted 156 inches of snow. Which snow prediction is greater? By how much? So one meteorologist said 15.5 feet. Another meteorologist said 156 inches. So we know that feet and inches are not the same thing. So we're going to have to do something to convert them. So we want to first, we're thinking about, let's see, we want to compare them, right? So I'm just going to write a comparison. Oh, I should have feet here and inches. Okay, I'm just going to put our comparison, our two amounts, and then the circle in the middle where we will either put greater than, less than, or equal to. Okay? So what do we know about feet and inches? If you have a ruler, we know that rulers are usually one side is inches, and then we know that a whole ruler equals 1 foot. So if I have this whole ruler and I know that this is 1 foot, so that I know that there are 12 inches in 1 whole foot. So for one, I'm going to change this to foot, equals 12 inches. So I should be able to convert my feet into inches. How would I do that? Well, I would say 15.5 times 12, right? Because I want to convert, because for every 1 foot, there are 12 inches. So I need to figure out what, what this would be. So remember, we break this up first. I'm going to do 15 times 12. Then I will do 1/2 times 12. And I will add them together. Okay? So 15 times 12. I don't know if you use area model or if you use standard algorithm. I'm just going to do the standard algorithm. 5 times 2 is 10. Regroup my 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. Then I have my 0 here in my 1's place, and now I can move to my 10's place. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. I add those together, and I get 180. Now, 1/2 times 12 equals 12 halves. Remember, your 12 goes along the top. What is 12 divided by 2? Well, 12 divided by 2 equals 6. So 180 plus 6 is 186. 186 inches. So which one predicted more? That would be the one that said 15.5 feet, because 15.5 feet is the same as 186 inches. Now the second question was by how much? So I'm going to take my 186 and subtract my 156. 6 minus 6 is 0. 8 minus 5 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. So by 30 inches was the difference between the two meteorologists' predictions. Okay? So that's when we're looking at feet and inches. So we always need to remember that 1 foot equals 12 inches, and that's how we're able to do the comparison. We have to convert this. In this case, we converted our feet into inches, so that way we could compare them, and then it made it so we had the same unit, so we could subtract. Because you cannot subtract 15.5 feet and 156 inches, because feet and inches are two different things. That's why we had to convert our feet into inches. Okay? So now we're going to look at some liquid measurements. We're going to be looking at pints and quarts and gallons and cups, and we can see this customary liquid volume conversions. 1 cup is the same as 8 fluid ounces. 1 pint is the same as 2 cups. So for 1 pint, you would need 16 fluid ounces, right? 1 quart is 2 pints. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So those are going to be some great conversions to help explain or to help you do your math. Okay? So Aaliyah converts 8 pints to gallons using a visual representation. So her measurement conversions to a larger unit. She's got 8 pints divided by 2 is going to equal 4 quarts. 4 quarts divided by 4 is going to equal 1 gallon. So you need 8 of these to equal 1 of those. So 8 pints to equal 1 gallon. You need 4 quarts to equal 1 gallon. You also need 8 pints to equal 4 quarts. Okay? So that's how we can kind of see how this is working, right? How this is going. So if we look at her diagram, which unit is the smallest? Well, that would be our pints, right? That would be our smallest because they have the smallest rectangles. And it takes the more of them to equal a larger unit, right? So the rectangles are smallest. Sorry, I squished that in. That's not very teacher-like of me to write, right? The rectangles are smallest. That's better. Sorry about that. That was terrible writing. And which unit is the largest? Well, obviously the largest unit would be the gallons. And the gallon rectangle is the biggest. All right. So are there more or fewer of the smaller unit? Well, you're going to need more of the smaller unit to equal the larger unit, right? And are there more or fewer of the larger unit? There would be fewer. You're going to have less of the larger unit than the smaller unit. So what operation would we use to go from smaller units to larger units? And we can see here what did she do? She divided. Okay, so you're going to go from smaller to larger units, you are going to divide. So division is what you will use. So we're going to look at our liquid volume conversions in this table. How are we going to convert a number of fluid ounces to a number of cups? What would we do to go from fluid ounces to cups? When we go from the smaller unit to the bigger unit, remember we use division, we're going to divide by 8. right? And we know that because there's 8 ounces in 1 cup. So how many cups are in 32 fluid ounces? Well, if we're dividing by 8, 32 divided by 8, that would be 4 cups. Because there's going to be more of the smaller amount than the bigger, right? Fluid ounces is smaller than cups. So that's why we would divide by 8. All right, now we're going to look at pounds and tons and ounces. A cubic foot of light, fluffy snow weighs about 88 ounces. About how many pounds does a cubic foot of light, fluffy snow weigh? Well, we can see here that for every pound, you're going to need 16 ounces. And for every ton, you need 2,000 pounds. So how many ounces are equal to 1 pound? There are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So if we look at this table, how are we going to convert a number of ounces to the number of pounds? If we want to go from ounces to pounds, from small to big, we're going to divide by what? We're going to divide by 16. So if the cubic foot of light fluffy snow weighs 88 ounces, we're going to need to do 88 divided by 16. Right? That would be our expression to figure that out. So how much does a cubic foot of light fluffy snow weigh? So if we have 88 divided by 16, I know I could do, let's just do 2 16s. So that would give me, no, I don't want 2 16s. 3, 4. Let's just start with 5. 5 times 16. So we're going to have 3. So we're going to have 80. And we have 8 left. So it's going to be 5 pounds. So it would be 5 remainder 8, which is the same as we would have 5 pounds and 8 ounces. And what fraction of a pound is the number of ounces? Well, when we look at the ounces, we know that 1 whole pound is 16 ounces. So if we have 8 ounces, that would be 1/2 pound. Because this would be 8 16ths, right? 16 is the whole, but there's only 8 of them. So it'd be 1/2 pound. So how many pounds does the cubic foot of snow weigh? 5 and 1/2 pounds. So this one's going to be dependent. You're really going to have to focus on what unit measurement you're using and how are we dividing it. So here we've got our feet to inches, feet to yard, or inches to feet, feet to yard, feet to miles, and yards to miles. So a frog jumps 48 inches. How many yards does the frog jump? Sometimes you need to use more than one conversion. So what do we think we're going to need to do first? We want to go from inches to yards, but can I go from inches to yards if I look at this chart? No, but I could go inches to feet and then feet to yards. So I'm going to want to go inches to feet, then feet to yards. So how do we convert the number of inches to the number of feet? Inches to feet, we're going to divide by 12. So how many feet are in 48 inches? 48 divided by 12 is 4. So we've got 4 feet. Then how are we going to convert the number of feet to the number of yards? Well, we're going to divide by 3. So we're going to, when we divide 4 by 3, we get 1 with a remainder of 1, and it's out of 3, so 1 1/3 yards is how far the frog jumps. Okay. There are about 18 cups of water in a cubic foot of snow. About how many pints of water are in a cubic foot of snow? So let's look back and remind ourselves, how many pints, where's our pint in our cup? There are 2 cups in every pint. So we are going to need to divide by 2. So 18 divided by 2 equals 9. So there are about 9 pints in a cubic foot of snow. So remember, you might have to look back at, right, your measurements to help you with these answers. So if we want to convert inches to feet, and I've got 90 inches, there are 12 inches in every foot, so I'm going to divide by 12. So 90 divided by 12, let's try 7. 7 times 2, 14. 7 times 1, 7 plus 1 is 8. And when I regroup this, I have 6. So it would be 7 6/12. And we know that 6/12 is the same as 1/2. So it would be 7 1/2 feet. Ounces to pounds. So there are, oops, wrong one. Over here, 16 ounces in every pound. So we're going to have to divide by 16 this time. So we've got 100 divided by 16. Let's try, let's see, 6. 6 times 6 is 36. So we'd have 96. So when we regroup, we're left with 4. So we would have 6 pounds and 4 ounces. So this is where your long division is going to be huge help for you. Gold is a rare element. Its properties make it a valuable natural resource. The soft metal is used to make items such as coins and jewelry. Gold conducts electricity and often is used in the manufacturing of electronics. The largest gold nugget found with a metal detector weighs 960 ounces. If the value of the gold is about $20,000 for 1 pound, what is the value of the nugget? So our first thing is to go from ounces to pounds. So if we have ounces to pounds, 16 ounces in 1 pound. So divided by 960. So if we do 6, right? Because 6 times 6 is 36. So we'd have 96. Bring down our 0. So it would be 60 pounds. And we want to know the value of the nugget. Every pound is $20,000. So 20,000 times 60 would be $1,200,000 for the value of that gold nugget. Can you imagine? That would be pretty awesome. All right, we're going to skip number 5 and we're going to go to number 6. So we're going to go from inches to feet. So we know there are 12 inches in every foot. So 126 divided by 12. So we know we would go 1 here, 0, bring down my 6. 0, 6, so it would be 10 feet and 6 inches, or 10.5 feet. Ounces to cups. There are 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. So 20 divided by 8, we would have 2, which would be 16 and 4. So we've got 2 cups and 4 fluid ounces, or 2 1/2 cups. Ounces to quarts. So there are 4 quarts in every gallon. So we want to divide 160. Well, first we've got to get it to cups. So 8 divided by 160 would be 20 cups. Then we would have to convert to pints. So that would be 10 pints, because we would divide by 2. And then pints to quarts, so divide by 2 again, and we would get 5 quarts. So this one we had to do 3 different divisions. First you had to find your cups to pints, and then pints to quarts. 72 quarts equals how many gallons? So if we're going from quarts to gallons, we're just going to have to divide by 4. 72 divided by 4. 32. We got 8. 32, 0, so 18 gallons. Ounces to pounds. Ounces to pounds is 16. So 104 divided by 16. Well, we know that 16 times 6 is 96. So let's see. I think that's how we're gonna, yep. So we would have 6 pounds, 6 pounds and 8/16, which is 1/2. So 6 1/2 pounds. Now we're going from pounds to tons. Pounds to tons. So 2,000. So if we have 4,200 divided by 2,000, we could go 2 times, right? Because that would be 4,000. And then we would have 200. So it would be 2 and 200 over 2,000. But if we convert this, we could be 2 over 20, which is 1 over 10. So 2 1/10 tons. But you could put 2 and 200 2,000ths, or 20 tenths, or 22 20ths. All right, feet to yards. So we want to go feet to yards. So there's 3 feet in 1 yard. So 23 divided by 3, 7, 21, 2. So it would be 7 yards and 2 feet. Or 7 2/3 yards. Inches to yards. So first we have to do inches to feet. 132 divided by 12. That should be 12, right? 2, 12. No, 11. Sorry, my bad. So it's going to be 11 feet. And then we are going to go from feet to yards. So 11 divided by 3. So it'd be 3 2/3 yards. Okay, so it's all about finding the right conversion and then dividing. An elephant at the zoo weighs 4 1/2 tons. How many pounds does the elephant weigh? Well, if the elephant weighs 4 1/2 tons. This time, so instead of dividing, we're going now from tons to pounds. So we're going to need to multiply by 2,000. So 4 1/2, so 4 times 2,000 equals 8,000. And then 1/2 times 2,000 equals 2,000 divided by 2, which equals 1,000. So 8,000 plus 1,000 would be 9,000 pounds. So this time we went in the opposite direction. So if you're going from bigger to smaller, then you are going to multiply. If you go from smaller to bigger, you divide. A quarterback completed passes to his receivers and gained a total of 2,640 yards. How many miles was this? So 2,640 yards, we want to know how many miles it was. Oh goodness. So we've got 2,640 divided by 1,760. So I'm going to make an educated guess and say it's probably about 2. So 2 times 0 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. 15. Nope, that's too much. So it's just 1. So it's going to be 1, and then we're going to do 2,640 minus 1,760. 8. So it'll be 1 and 880 over 1,760. And I think that's a half. Right? Because if you add 880 plus 880, yep, 170. So it's all the same as 1 1/2 miles. Number 16, a typical adult drinks 20 cups of warm beverages each week. How many gallons of warm beverages does a typical adult drink? So 20 cups. So let's go from cups to pints. So divided by 2, that would be 10 pints. So then we've got to go from pints to quarts. So that would be 5 quarts. And then we have to go quarts to gallons. So that would be divided by 4. So 1. So it would be 1 1/4 gallons. Okay. And the last page, we're just going to do number 17. Okay, we're skipping 18 and 19. Oh my, it's quite the mustache. The world's record for the longest mustache is 14 feet. How many yards and inches is this? So we're going from feet to yards. Feet to yards. So we need to divide by 3. So 14 divided by 3. We could do 4, which would be 12. 2, so it would be 4 yards, and the remainder would be the inches, and 2 inches. 4 yards, 2 inches. That's one long mustache. All right, so for the independent work, you can skip number 8. Excuse me. And you can skip number 13. So 8 and 13 you can skip, but you can do everything else. You're going to want to use your book. You're going to want to have these charts available to you to help you out. Okay? And when you're finished, please send it back to school. All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.